right, I roll.
Yep, sounds good.
12.
All right. Oh, 2.
Not 12.
Yeah, I guess you're first.
All right. Spirit of Fire.
Okay.
Draw 7.
Oh, great. Another fire deck.
Library Witch. Increasing danger.
Okay.
See, Cremation Ritual. Sacrifice Library Witch. Draw a card off Library Witch. Draw 2.
Yep.
Increasing danger.
When is he ever going to stop drawing cards?
Library Witch.
Sure.
Cremation Ritual. Sacrifice Library Witch. Draw a card. Draw 2.
Okay.
Creative Shock. Draw 2.
How does he have so many cards?
Discard Tempered Steel.
Yep.
Increasing danger. Library Witch.
All right. This is getting ridiculous.
Cremation Ritual.
Sure.
Draw 2.
That's it. I'm done. He can play by himself.
Increasing danger. Creative Shock. Draw 2. And discard Innervate Fury. Increasing danger. Draw 1. Draw into memory.
Man, fire is just so busted. It's not even fair. I wish my favorite element, water, had some way to keep up. MRC spoilers. Do not share. I should share this. What's up, everyone? It's Dan with Main Deck, and welcome to Grand Archive Set 4 Mercurial Heart Spoiler Season. I am honored to be able to kick this off with 3 incredible spoilers for you all today. Remember, Mercurial Heart releases on May 17th. It includes support for all classes in the game, though the advanced elements are focused on Azoth's advanced elements. So that's going to be Neos, Umbra, and Astra. But we are super excited to see all the support in there. I'm not going to make you guys wait anymore. I've got 3 spoilers to show you today, 2 from Mercurial Heart and 1 from the Sylvie Slime Sovereign Recollection deck that's releasing at the same time. Let's jump right into them. Now, to my fellow water players out there who have been waiting for their chance to get the same kind of crazy card quality that Fire has been able to get for several sets, I am so excited to show you the first spoiler of the day, Primordial Ritual. Primordial Ritual is a 2-cost fast speed, yes, fast speed action cleric skill that is very similar to another ritual that you might be familiar with from the fire element. This one says, as an additional cost to activate this card, sacrifice an ally, and says target player puts the top 2 cards of their deck into their graveyard, and it has floating memory. Now, the fact that this has fast speed is what absolutely blew my mind. Something that Cremation Ritual absolutely dreams that it could have. Now, of course, this doesn't directly draw you back 2 cards like Cremation Ritual does, but it has floating memory, so it's going to already be worth a card itself in your graveyard, and then gives you that opportunity to put 2 cards from your deck, if you'd like, to try and find some more floating memory for value. Or I guess if you're one of those crazy Nico mill players out there, you can put your opponent's cards into their graveyard as well. That is certainly an option. But this means that with Primordial Ritual, in response to some sort of attack, an intercept, in response to some removal being played, you can use the Primordial Ritual, sacrifice the ally you were going to lose at fast speed already, mill 2 cards, potentially find floating memory, and it will still count itself as floating memory. So in the worst case, it's kind of like playing a fast cure and not getting the heal from it. This floating memory is not class bonus at all, which is really sick. And of course, water already has plenty of sweet floating memory access. This is going to make those Frostborn Paladins activate a little more easily, and of course just get the value for leveling. I can't believe this costs 2 alongside effects like Fracturize and Song of Frost. You can hold up Primordial Ritual or Frostbind as well. Your opponent will not know exactly what they're going to be expecting, and you'll always be able to, if you need to, pop the Primordial Ritual, mill to, hopefully, find some floating memory or set up some other graveyard shenanigans. Maybe a Relentless Hex Chaser out there. Maybe you're going to set up some automatons for Claude, because this works great with Foraging Servant. There is lots of potential with this card. Library Witch is no longer just a fire card. You can run it in water now with Primordial Ritual. I think of all the cards I'm showing you today, this is the one that has the most potential to impact the metagame and give water a really cool value boost that it has been missing. So I'm super, super excited to be able to show this card to you all. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. What other cool interactions do you think Primordial Ritual is going to enable? Drop those in the comments down below. Now, next up, let's look. I am a huge Tony fan, so we're going to show you a cool new Neos rare card called Bolster Ranks. Bolster Ranks is a Neos 3-cost action Guardian spell with fast speed once again, and as class bonus, this card costs 1 less to activate, which is really nice. It only costs 2, of course, when you are a Guardian Neos, and we don't know yet if anyone else could be Neos, but hey, Guardian is, so that works. Now, this is great. I love me some flexible spells. This has choose one, summon an automaton drone token with a buff counter on it, or put a buff counter on each ally you control. Now, we've already seen effects that allow you to buff your entire board are quite powerful. Neos, of course, is good at building out a board. And what I love about Bolster Ranks here, this feels like a little unassuming, but I think this is actually a really good card because this will allow you to, when you don't have the board, develop one by putting in a 2/2, 1/1 automaton drone buff token with a buff counter on it. Or when you do have that board, it allows you to just bolster everything up, make your whole board stronger. So this is good in no matter what situation you're in. That's one of the problems with cards like Attune with the Winds. Only good when you already have the board built up. Well, Neos has the advantage of, you know what? If I need to build the board, I'll build the board. If I need to buff the board, I'll buff the board. I can do either one depending on what I need. So you're never going to be sad to draw multiple copies of Bolster Ranks. Now, is this a Ghost of Pendragon value card? No, but is this a card that's just going to dunk on the opponent sometimes as soon as you play it? Absolutely it is. So I think this is a cool card, an interesting new spell, and I think when people start to find more ways to efficiently level up their Tenoris, Cough, Temporal Spectrometer, then I think you'll be able to build decks that have a strong Neos endgame, and this certainly could be a backbone of your strategy in that way. Finally, let's talk about our Sylvie Recollection deck. Spoiler, and boy, this is a cool card. Another fast speed action Tamer Slime skill. That is the theme of my previous day. They are all fast speed actions. This one only costs 1. You love to see just 1. You also love to see the class bonus floating memory sitting at the bottom of it. So this effect can't be that good, right? I don't know. Think again. This thing is pretty wild. You may banish any amount of fire element slime ally cards and up to 2 non-fire element slime ally cards from your graveyard. So just back up for a sec. If you have a bunch of fire element slimes in your graveyard, you can bash any number of those, and then any 2 non-fire element slime. They could be advanced element slimes. They could be other, basic element slimes. They could be norm element slimes. You don't know. Depends on what kind of slimes you got. And for each card banished this way, you're going to choose a unit and deal 1 damage to it. So you do have to banish some amount of slimes with this, but we did already see what an interaction with our Storm Slime. This is going to cause a crazy damage dunk combo where you can banish a bunch of slimes from your graveyard for the Slime Eruption at fast speed, maybe in your Recollection phase even, and then you will be able to play the Storm Slime, and suddenly the damage that it deals as a spell is buffed up to new heights to absolutely crush the opponent in 1 turn. You can still swing for 3 with your Storm Slime afterwards too. Now, Slime Eruption is really neat too because it is for each card banished, you choose a unit and deal 1 damage to it. That does mean that effects that prevent all damage sources like Veiling Breeze are going to cause this to not work very well, but it does mean also that this has a crazy amount of flexibility in what it can deal damage to. You can ping a bunch of stuff on the board. You could target your own blue slime if you wanted to give it some counters, which I think is a pretty sweet thing to do potentially if you want a bit of more of a long-term benefit, or if you have another reason to want those buff counters on it. And otherwise, you know, of course, you can just direct a whole bunch of damage at your opponent's face, which I think is going to be something that happens quite a bit. Fast speed, the ability to deal, I mean, you can maybe imagine 2, 3, 4 damage pretty likely with this for one cost. Just one time. You can't like chain them as easily because you need to get more slimes in your graveyard, but it is still going to be a pretty powerful way for the Tamer deck to push for a lot of damage. And if you just want to pop it out early, maybe even just deal 1 or 2 damage to something, you got to get like an Academy Guide off the board or something, deal a little bit of damage in addition to an attack. Then you have that floating memory, which is going to help your Tamer get to the Slime Sovereign level where all of your slimes are absolutely, frankly, ridiculous. So I think this card is awesome. It is good at every stage of the game. Floating memory, it is good at doing a ton of damage late game, especially if you can find a way to get a lot of fire slimes into your graveyard where you can banish a lot of them for it. And this is, I think, certainly a card that you are going to lose a game or two to when your opponents are playing Tamer, because that's just cheap damage, and we love to see it. So Tamer is really making a comeback in the set, and I'm very, very excited for the future of Tamer and the future of MRC with all these super cool fast speed spells. It's literally 1 a.m. and Silidar posts this. So I have another spoiler for you guys, but this one is totally worth it. This is super cool. This is the wind action cleric skill fast speed called Orchestrated Seizure. 3 cost, says activate this card only during an opponent's end phase. During your next materialize phase, you may banish cards with floating memory from your opponent's graveyards to pay for memory costs. This is... I mean, you're getting my raw reaction to this right now. This card is really wild. So, I mean, in a way, it's kind of just like banishing from their graveyard, like a scavenging raccoon, but way better, because if you are able to hit floating memory, you're able to get like some insane value out of this. Water decks are not going to want you to play this. This will be a good sideboard against these self-mill water decks for sure. Pretty disgusting sideboard actually against those. And certainly like a lot like when Merlin was, well, and still is a part of the format, but really during like the FTC metagame when Merlin was like the deck and everyone was like, oh, you should back off on floating memory cards. Yeah, I mean, I can see it won't be quite as ubiquitous of an impact because Merlin was obviously just everywhere, but this is a card that will definitely make you think twice. If this becomes Wind is popular with this card, make you think twice about filling that graveyard with that floating memory. Really, really cool card to see. Definitely, if you appreciate getting this extra spoiler in here, go ahead and down in the comments below, say thanks Silidar, so that everybody can kind of give him your energy and give me your energy, because I'm going to need it. These nights have been really late lately. So I hope you guys enjoyed this special 4th spoiler in our 3 spoiler video. Thank you so much, Silidar, for adding that in. And let's go to the end of the video now. I am super excited that Weebs the Shore was able to share the spoilers with us. Now, there will be a ton more spoilers coming. If you want the full breakdown, like usual, I will have the list of spoilers and their channels in the description below. So head down to the description, make sure you're subscribed to every content creator on there so that you will catch their spoilers and that you support the general Grand Archive content creator community. Super nice of you all to, subscribe, like their videos, comment on their videos, do all that stuff. It helps us out all a ton. I am pumped for MRC. Let me know what you think about these spoilers down in the comments below, and then we will see you guys at all of the future spoilers for MRC. Can't wait to see what the other content creators have cooked up. Until then, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick dive into our spoilers, and we will see you all in the next one.